Remember when you were making out with your first girlfriend, and you came right as she touched your leg? It was me, Barry. I jerked you off at super speed so it'd seem like you nutted at just a woman's touch!
Well, it looks like it's time to start exploring this universe. So, I've been gone for quite a while. Okay, maybe quite a while is an understatement because I haven't posted in 2-3 months. But I got a good reason because for this channel, I wanted to do all things nerd and sports. So I didn't know how to, start this. But as it seems that we're going into a new season of Premier League, La Liga, and all those types of sports soccer. I might be doing a Sunday recap of everything as much as I watch soccer. So yeah, get a look out for that. But otherwise, you saw the title of today's video. I'm attempting to review every movie in the DCAMU universe because I grew up on DC. I grew up on DC characters, DC lore, and all that stuff. Because as you know, if you grew up on Cartoon Network mostly, you probably also watched mostly the DC characters. And also, I'm a Flash kid. I watched Flash, Batwoman, horrible show by the way. Holy. There was only a few characters I liked in that show, but holy shit, that thing was absolute trash beginning to end. And then, as we know, Flash fell off. I'll never touch Flash or Wonder Woman at all. I really don't want to, because I'll just be wasting my time with those shows. So today we'll be talking about most of the shows I've seen, the movies I've seen so far from the DCAMU. Apparently there's 63, which I don't believe, because I looked up on Rotten Tomatoes and it looks like there's about, I don't know, I think 15 to 20 around there, and I've seen about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 6 of them. And holy shit, I have only realized now that I've already seen like 6 of these movies, which is insane how I can binge all of them, and some I don't remember much. But we'll start with the first one, which is the Flash Paradox. Now, Justice League the Flashpoint Paradox. So we actually opened the movie with Barry doing miscellaneous things and then battling the Reverse Flash, and the Reverse Flash plants a seed in his brain to go back in time and save his mother, which he does. It's implied that it doesn't really show that to be the case until you actually see the changes to the world, because this is supposed to be the starting point of this universe per se. These are the mainline movies that form the DCAMU. Any other movie are not in this, or should I say not in this timeline, because they're stated not to be by Rotten Tomatoes and very reliable sources on TikTok. So we're just gonna keep that in continuity. And this movie, for the opening movie, it was quite interesting. I always thought that starting with Flashpoint is I think it was a genius move to start with Flashpoint, although this is the only Flash-centered movie in the entire series. Everything else is mainly focused on the Bat Family. A lot of this is focused on the Bat Family, the Justice League, Superman, and a bit of Teen Titans. I'm actually surprised. Teen Titans got 2 standalone movies, which Teen Titans vs. Justice League is my favorite movies, but I'll spill about it when we get there in the next video. But yeah, we meet Flash while he was trying in this new Flashpoint universe. We meet him trying to figure out what's going on, and he goes to Wayne the Batcave and starts talking to Batman, but he looks different. He has guns, first of all, and he has red eyes and a red bat, which should be our first giveaway that this is not technically our Batman per se, and then we find out later on that this is actually Thomas Wayne, the Batman's dad, or should I say Bruce's dad. And we learned that in this timeline, instead of Bruce's parents dying, Bruce and Martha died, and his dad lived on and carrying the mantle of Batman. And to see this, he's kind of like the same Batman. He's kind of like the same as his son. Instead, he's more of a doctor than an actual crime fighter. And I don't know. They don't really tell us much about how he gets his abilities and stuff. But I'll make an educated guess that maybe he did it the same as his son, probably. I don't know. But moving on, we're dropped into this world where it's at war, that the Amazonians are at war with the Atlanteans. Yeah, because of the fact that in this timeline, at some point or another, Aquaman and Wonder Woman are married, which is a very interesting take. And then I think it's Wonder Woman killed, and then they're not married. They get into an affair because they're trying to unite their two kingdoms. And then after finding out their affair, Aquaman's wife finds out their affair and tries to kill Wonder Woman, but Wonder Woman kills her, which is like brutal, and takes her head and then shows it to, like, this is brutal. Like, the way it happens, it's so brutal. And now the Flash has to try to stop this and get things back on track, pretty much. And Flash doesn't have his powers, obviously, and he spent first half of the movie trying to get his powers back, which is absolutely horrific. These scenes are horrific, trying to see Flash recreate the things that got him his superpowers. It's weird. And then when he puts on his suit, I think it's the first Flash one. I might be wrong though, because I have it, like I said, I only saw this movie a while back before starting the series, so I could be wrong. But I remember most of the story beats of the movie, because I tried to pay as much attention as possible, because I knew I had the intentions of making reviews about this. And yeah, they're basically at war. Cyborg is here too, and he's been trying to get Batman Thomas Wayne to join the Resistance to fight back against this war. But to be frank with you, the Amazonians and the Atlanteans are decimating this planet, like, no cap. It's not even a fight at this point, and with Flash entering the fray, they kind of have a standing chance. And one thing I might say about this movie is that it's kind of underwhelming. We focus a lot on the Atlantean and Amazonian battle, and less about Flash and Reverse's Flash's rivalry. And we get backstory of why Reverse Flash did, and then Reverse Flash telling Barry that you did this by going back and saving your mother, and your speed is going away because of the Flash, the Speed Force and all that. But also, I don't know, guys, if you know this. You know that scene where it was me, Barry?
It's me, Barry.
Yeah, that scene doesn't exist. Like, I was so surprised as well. This scene doesn't exist. I was waiting for it the entire movie, and I'm like, wait a minute, this is the scene, right? And I'm like, I watch it, and I'm like, it's not there. It's a fan made scene, and I'm like, we're figuring it out. I was like, there's no way, because it felt weird not seeing it, and I'm like, now it makes sense that they would never actually put that shit in the movie, because it's way too graphic and stuff. So I was like, okay. At that point, I found out it was a fan made movie, but pretty much after that, it became like a final battle thing, and then Thomas, towards the end of the movie, Thomas dies. Well, he tells Barry to just run, Barry, run. Those famous lines, to run back to his own timeline, or run fast enough to I forgot what they were trying to do. Something with the Speed Force to like rectify the wrongs, I think. Oh yeah, go back in time and stop Barry from rewriting history and creating the Flashpoint. So he tries to do that, but Reverse Flash is stopping him every step of the way. And to stop Reverse Flash, Thomas shoots him as on his dying deathbed, and gives Barry a letter to give to Bruce in the future, and then he starts running to get the timeline back in order, which he eventually does. And like, you could like this world is kind of depressing because everyone dies. Nobody makes it out of this universe alive. Only Flash does, which is very morbid. It's a very morbid movie all around because only Flash survives. Also, I forgot to put spoilers at the start of this video. Probably. Maybe. Yeah, I forgot to put spoilers. I'll probably put it at the intro. Never mind. Again, spoiler review. Maybe it's a bit too late, but this movie has been out since 2013, so I guess I shouldn't be putting a spoiler review for a movie that's almost like what, 15 years old, but holy shit, it's almost 15 years old. That's crazy. Wait, it is. What the fuck? Is it 15 years old? No, it's not. It's 12. Okay, cool. Side tangent, but yeah, this movie was very morbid. I can't lie. It's morbid. And technically, it's the first in the series, but technically, from what I've seen, it would fit more if it went after Justice League Throne of Atlantis. But technically, it's the first movie in this series because it was the first movie to be released in this universe. But this is chronological order, not universe order. And if it was universe order, it probably might slot in more after Throne of Atlantis, but also it kind of introduces the Justice League. So it's a bit convoluted like that. But anyway, moving on. So for my thoughts on this movie, it was a bit confusing because we start off with the Flash and his stuff instead of like, I don't know, maybe Batman or Superman. But I think that's a benefit because we kind of already know most of these guys' backstories of how they became heroes. So they don't want to rehash that in this universe. So we basically meet most of the Justice League as adults. And you'll see in the next movie how that ties into the other members of the Justice League. But for the opening movie of the DCAMU, I'll give it a solid 7 out of 10. It was average. I can't write anything home about it because, you know, it was just average, man. Moving on. Yeah, at this point in the video, actually, I recorded about 6 more scripts of this video. It was supposed to be like 30 minutes long, but I realized my phone doesn't have the capabilities of recording a 30-minute video yet because of space. So I'm gonna split it up into more parts. It's gonna be 6. So I'm actually gonna do a 1 video part for each movie. So that's something to look forward to, more content. And basically I should have done that from the beginning. But yeah, guys, for that's gonna be the first video, my first video into the DCAMU. So you guys can tell me what you think in the comments section below. This has been the Athletic Nerd, and I'll see you guys soon.
Really good at everything but head. I don't want your throat. I don't want that shit. Matter of fact, I want your friend. I'm allowed to switch. Really tired of being in the studio. I'm about to quit. Somebody call my A&R now. Tell them get me out of here, cause I'm about to flip. Bad bitches in the B&B. I'm okay with that. Niggas hear your song and turn it off. We don't play it back.